You know, I pay a lot of money to live here, and I didn't pay for the view to be some kind of urban jungle gym. You people bring your aesthetic with you wherever you go, don't you? That was the first thing she ever said to me. Not hello, not welcome to the neighborhood, just that. Right out in the open, like she was commenting on the weather. Let me back up a sec. It was only 3 weeks after we moved in. I was out in the backyard with Tom, my husband, and our 7-year-old Leo. We were measuring the big old oak tree, the one that basically sold us on this house in the first place. Leo, he'd been dreaming of a treehouse since he could talk. This tree looked like it had been put there by Hollywood just for him. Tom had a notepad, jotting down numbers. Leo was hugging the trunk, telling it all his secret plans, and I was holding the measuring tape, trying to look like I knew what I was doing. That's when we heard her. Isla. Her voice was sharp, brittle, like she could slice glass with it. We turned, and there she was, standing on her golf course green lawn, not 10 feet away, arms crossed so tight you'd think she was trying to keep her own ribs from running away. She had this blonde perm, looked like a helmet, and wore a tennis skirt so wide it nearly blinded me. She didn't say hello, just hit us with the, "You people bring your aesthetic" line, and I swear, I just stood there, mouth open. Tom tried his best neighborly smile, said, "Morning, just working on a project for the little guy here." Isla glanced at Leo, then back at us, her face pulling tight. "A project," she repeated, like it was a dirty word. "Just remember, this is a covenanted community. We have standards. We don't just build shanties in the trees." And then, no joke, she went back to her patio and sat there with binoculars, watching us. I'm not even exaggerating. That's when I realized, yeah, that happened. We weren't dealing with a regular neighbor. It wasn't just about a treehouse. It was about something else. Maybe it was about us. We were the only mixed-race family on the street, and in one sentence, she let us know we weren't neighbors. We were an infestation. But we didn't move here to get bullied by a miserable woman. We checked the HOA bylaws. Tom spent a whole evening reading that thing. All about mailbox colors and approved species of grass, but not a single word about treehouses. There was a bit about temporary structures not being left up for more than 48 hours, but a treehouse? Permanent, right? We figured we were fine. So, next weekend, we got to work. Family project. Every Saturday and Sunday, Tom with the tools, Leo as wood inspector, he took it very seriously, me documenting everything. First, we built the platform, sturdy, safe, bolted into the main trunk, high enough to feel like an adventure, but not so high it'd make your heart stop. Isla watched every minute from her patio, sometimes with the binoculars, sometimes just glaring. Never said a word, just watched. The second weekend we did the walls, using reclaimed pallet wood. Leo painted them more than the wood itself, but he was glowing. He was already planning the whole inside. Superhero action figures, a secret snack box, a blanket for reading. The treehouse became his obsession. Even told the grocery store cashier. By the third weekend, we put on a roof. Clear plastic, let the sunlight in. Neighbors started stopping by. Most were great. An older guy said it reminded him of his own kid's treehouse. A young couple with a toddler asked for our blueprints. Felt like we were finally part of the place. Then came the letter. Slipped under our door, no stamp. Architectural Review Committee, aka Isla and her best friend. The letter was a masterpiece of HOA jargon. Unapproved structures, natural aesthetics, potential liability. Demanded we stop, submit an application, which would almost certainly be denied. Tom just sighed. We knew this was coming. But watching Leo, face full of magic, climbing up that rope ladder, I knew it wouldn't be so simple. Tom wrote a polite, logical letter back. Pointed out no rules about tree houses, included pictures of the safety features, even showed property values went up with cute stuff like that. Certified mail, just to be official. And for a whole week, nothing. We finished the tree house. Leo drew a flag, a lopsided dinosaur. Tom rigged up a bucket and pulley for snacks, solar lantern, the works. Leo was in heaven. Then came the emergency HOA meeting. Of course, it was in Isla's living room. We went over, feeling like kids sent to the principal's office. The whole board was there. Her friend, 3 others who looked like they'd rather be getting dental work. Tom laid out our case, bylaws highlighted, pictures, all of it. Isla didn't care. She just started ranting about construction noise. We only worked weekends. The element the treehouse would attract, implying Leo's friends were a gang. and how our tree was a menace, dropping leaves on her award-winning flowers. Claimed our bolts were destroying the tree's structural integrity, and that a storm could drop it on her house. Another board member tried to say insurance wouldn't cover damage unless there was proven negligence. Isla shot him a death glare, and he shut up. Tom explained we'd consulted an arborist. Tree was healthy, bolts designed for this. Isla cut him off, sneering at our affordable arborist. The meeting ended with the board taking it under advisement. We walked home in silence. It's not about the rules, Tom said. It's about her. She's not going to stop. And man, was he right. After that, she escalated. Out came her phone. Every time we stepped in the backyard, click, click, click. Leo in the treehouse, click. Me weeding the garden, click. Tom mowing, click. She wanted us to feel watched. And it worked. Leo started asking why the mean lady always took his picture. We told him she was just nosy. But he knew. He stopped inviting friends over. The treehouse, once his fortress, became a haunted house. Then came the official complaints. Over the grass, supposedly too high, the recycling bin left out 3 hours too long. A package on the porch for 4 hours, diapers for my sister's baby, for crying out loud. Death by paperwork. The whole joy of moving here, the dream, it was draining out like a slow leak. After a month of this, suddenly, silence. No camera, no letters. For a week, Tom thought she went on vacation. I wondered if she'd finally had a heart attack. She ignored us, but the harassment vanished. Leo started using the treehouse again. The sun came out. We let ourselves believe maybe she'd given up. Then one Saturday, doorbell rings. Isla, holding a casserole dish. Tight little smile. I wanted to apologize for any misunderstanding. Here's my famous 7-layer dip for your little boy and his friends. Tom, always the optimist, thanked her, put the dish on the counter, and we both just stared at it like it might sprout legs and walk off. We didn't eat it, told her later it was delicious, dumped it quietly in the trash. But the truth is, it worked. It lulled us. We thought it was over. And then, perfect spring afternoon, Leo and his friend Sam playing pirates in the treehouse. I'm making lemonade, Tom at work. I hear this growl, chainsaw. I look outside, and there she is. Isla, hot pink tracksuit, helmet hair, holding a brand new orange chainsaw. She's in our yard, at the base of the oak, cutting into the trunk. I scream. She looks right at me and smirks. Not a hint of regret. She knew the boys were up there. She turned back to the tree, revved the chainsaw, dug it in deeper. I run, bare feet, heart pounding, yelling for her to stop. The tree groans, tilts, starts to fall. Thank God, it falls away from her house. The tree house crashes down. I see 2 terrified faces in the window. The world explodes. Branches, boards, the sound of everything breaking, then silence. Just that awful silence. I claw through the wreckage, find Sam, crying, shaken but okay. Leo's trapped, pinned by a beam, his arm bent wrong. It hurts, Mommy. I call 911, sobbing, trying to lift the beam but can't. I hold Leo's hand, whisper he's brave. Isla stands on her lawn, says she was preventing an accident. The cops and firefighters arrive. Free Leo. Paramedics take him to the hospital. He needs surgery for a broken arm, has a concussion. My world's in pieces. Neighbors come forward. Some rally, others mutter about rules. Then a quiet guy 2 houses down gives us security footage. Audio of Isla's racist rants, her threatening to chop it down herself. It's all there. Proof this wasn't a mistake or a misunderstanding. Police press charges. Isla's arrested, felony assault with a deadly weapon, enhancements for a child victim. Her lawyer spins her as the victim, bloggers eat it up. We get hate mail, some neighbors side with her. But the evidence is damning. Our lawyer adds the HOA as a co-defendant. They knew about her campaign and did nothing. Months of legal warfare. Our family's under a microscope. Isla's supporters start a Friends of Isla campaign. We get doxxed, threatened. The whole country picks sides. Our only comfort is the neighbors who stand with us. Homemade signs, lasagna, standing up to the bullies. But Leo's traumatized. He has nightmares, panic attacks, can't set foot in the backyard. We find him a therapist, watch him draw the same broken tree, over and over. It's heartbreak on top of heartbreak. Finally, trial day. Courtroom's tense. The jury hears my 911 call, police footage, and most damning, the neighbor's audio. Isla never takes the stand. Her lawyer calls a friend to say she's a pillar of the community. Jury's out less than 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. Isla's sentenced to 5 years in prison. The HOA folds, settles for enough to cover every bill, every therapy session, and a college fund for Leo. We don't move. Not yet. The house next door is empty. The street is quiet. We plant a new tree together. Leo's first time smiling in the yard since that day. He and Tom build a little fort on the patio, not up in the sky, but on the ground. Laughter returns, slowly. The scars will never fully fade, but we're still here, roots deeper than any chainsaw can reach. So tell me, where do you stand on all this? Who's really to blame when a community turns against itself? One crazy neighbor, or a system that lets her run wild? Drop your thoughts below, tell me your own HOA nightmares, and let's talk about what justice actually looks like in neighborhoods like ours.